Now is the time to get into shape for summer. Don't start in June when everybody else panic trains. The Join Cycling app will build a plan just for you, for your progress and your availability. Try Join using the link in the description down below. Could Jonas Vingegaard take his third stage win in Paris-Nice? Could he defend his GC lead? It looked likely with the huge gap he built up. It's been a very attritional Paris-Nice. You got to survive crosswinds, hectic stages, everything. The final stage was modified, not as hard as previous years. The Côte du Lingoudor, 3Ks, 8.5%, 10-minute climb. That's the main climb of the day. The rest were like 6Ks, 7%. Not perfect for someone like Valentin Paris-Pantra, who's riding against Bruno Armirel behind. Ineos are going for Kevin Vauquelin. So the main GC interest of the day was, could Ineos leapfrog Vauquelin onto the podium? He's on 19 seconds behind Georg Steinhauser on EF, who finished third alone in the crosswind stage. But Ineos don't have Only. Tarling's their last climber, and he puts a really hard pace here. It panics Danny Martinez. He starts to move up on the right side of Pithy. Pithy looks to his left, doesn't see Martinez, drifts right, looking left again, and crashes Martinez into this embankment. So not only were they unlucky that he crashed instead of into the bit of grass or something else would have been preferable. And they have to drop the whole team, or they have the whole team around him. Vlasov, Pithy, Van Dijk, Ineos keep the pace going. Valentin Paris-Pantra, he's only got a 30-second lead. Soler got caught by Armirel in one of the valleys. So Visma obviously hungry to go for another stage win with Jonas Vingegaard. And you got to be able to pedal the descents, the flats, the false or the shallow uphills. I was surprised VPP went so early. But then again, if you wait till the last climb, you got to be good enough to follow the biggest GC guys. So Bora do the right thing, not panicking. They keep riders and numbers around Martinez. Remember, he has a big lead on Steinhauser in third and an even bigger lead on Vauquelin in fourth. But VPP caught in the valley before the last climb. Here it is, 3.3Ks, 9%, very steep in parts. Campanart's the last man for Vingegaard. He's going to set the pace like he did on the 6-minute climb the other day. Will Barter was positioning Rondell, who's top 10 in GC here, but we still got Vlasov. So the rouleurs have done their job for Bora. Now Vlasov has got to get Martinez to the finish within about a minute and a half of Vauquelin and Steinhauser, which they were able to do. So good recovery from Bora. Campanart slowed after the initial acceleration. Lenny Martinez, he's not letting Ineos drop the wheel of Vingegaard this time. Remember, he was put on a gap on the previous stage that he couldn't close. And then when Campanart ramps it up, there's immediately a gap. Vauquelin did drop the wheel. Tejada's on a gap. Lenny was almost on a gap as he was looking behind. Vingegaard accelerates. Lenny's closing it out of the saddle, but then Vingegaard looks back just as it's about to level off, sees Lenny in the wheel, and then maybe stops his acceleration. So he's not able to drop Martinez on the first burst, but we've still got over half this climb left. So maybe Vingegaard missing Piganzoli or another climber to do a longer pace, or maybe Lenny Martinez is just really, really good at 5 to 10 minute walls. We saw last year he won a Paris stage on the 5-minute wall. He maybe would have followed Vingegaard on the other stage if he'd not had to close the gap. But Vingegaard winds it up again halfway through the climb. It's 9% section, tries to drop Martinez and isn't able to shake him off. So, I mean, no bother for Vingegaard per se. It's not like Martinez is ahead of him on GC. But then what's going to happen afterwards? We've got Steinhauser, with the only one with a teammate behind. He's got Alex Baudin with him. And so he's going to get Baudin to set a pace. First of all, he can move up into second. They're a minute ahead of Martinez now. Who's knowing what's going to happen to Martinez after the climb? Secondly, that stops Kevin Vauquelin doing anything. Vauquelin had no teammates with him at this point, no on-lead to set a pace or do something. So he just had to let EF set a tempo, and Steinhauser and EF are happy with that. They want to get to the finish line with things as they are for his third on GC. But Lenny pushed the descent. It was wet, dry. We've got a patchwork quilt. Road has been redone on one side. And yeah, it was dry, but with wet sections. And that made the descent a little bit tricky. Rondell did a good descent in the valley floor. As they get into the outskirts of Nice, they start relaying. The gap goes from 22 seconds out to 30, out to 40. So the front group was going faster than the middle group, and Martinez is actually able to stay with Vlasov, which was key, that he was never alone. They were kept catching groups. They were catching up to group 2. They never get to them. But the fire comes out of this group, I think, when they realize they can't win the stage, because they were 24 seconds in front. They would lose 16 seconds in a case, so they start track standing. Vingegaard won't pull through. Lenny Martinez is very, very fast. He's, for his size, probably got one of the best 5-second kicks in cycling. And out of this corner, 200 to go, he just launches it. Vingegaard had already started to kick. Someone rips a vape pen next to them, but Lenny doesn't care. He does, pretty impressive sprint, I would say, to lead it out, 200, launch it, and Vingegaard can't come past, tries to do his best Julian Alaphilippe impression. I guess he isn't French enough, so he still wins anyway. Very, very impressive from Lenny, who wins his second Paris stage in 2 years. Ahead of Vingegaard, Tejada third, then Vauquelin, Baudin, Steinhauser, Izagirre, Rondel, Vinokurov leading out the group with Martinez on 44 seconds. Here's what Vingegaard had to say after the race.
Today was almost the perfect day. We had a lot of fun today. We raced, full gas racing all day, and finally I'm able to win Paris-Nice, and it's been the tough one for me, but I'm extremely happy to sit here in the yellow jersey today, and of course I would have loved to win the stage as well, but Lenny, he was very strong, so he deserves to win as well.
Of course, you've won Grand Tours, you've won one-week races, Dauphiné, Tirreno. What does it mean to win Paris-Nice?
Yeah, actually it means a lot to me. It's been the one that I just couldn't get right. Now finally I get it right, and that makes me extremely happy. It's a good start to the year, and it's something that I'm really proud of.
Is it a message sent to Tadej Pogačar to tell him I'm here and I'm strong?
No, I think for me it's just about racing, trying to win the races that I'm doing, and this was my first race of the year, and I'm just extremely happy with how everything went here.
You certainly look very strong. The gap is huge. How do you rate your shape for 2026?
I think it's very, very good at the moment. I do still think that I can improve for the upcoming races. So hopefully I can do that, and especially for the Tour.
In terms of GC, no changes in the top 10, which normally you do see on this final stage. So hopefully they go back to the original route of last year, or typically with Côte de Pays, etc. 4:23, the victory of Vingegaard over Martinez, who does admirably defend that second position despite his crash today. Steinhauser, a huge result in third. He'll be happy with that. EF had a good week across both races. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao.